Adam, good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are you, boss?
What's up, Brian? How you doing?
Doing really good, man. Look, the first question, I've got a number of questions that I want to ask you. And if you have charts that you want to share, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, I will drive here for you. Last time that we were on, we talked quantum stocks and we talked about the absolute killing that you did on them. We've recently seen some of these start to kick back up here. What are your thoughts here on some of these quantum stocks? Are you currently playing them? Are they any of your good setups? What do you think on some of these?
I traded Qubits last week. It had earnings, and it was Thursday it had earnings, and it had popped like 80 cents. And I bought the $7 options for 20 cents. I bought 60 of them, but then the market was weak on Thursday, if you recall, last week. And so I ended up only going out with 20. And then the next day it opened up big on Friday. I was up a couple thousand, sold it, would have been up 5,000 if I held more. And now it's like I couldn't get back in, and it didn't provide an entry for me to get back in. So I made some money in that trade post earnings. But what it was NVIDIA had the Quantum Day conference this week.
Yep.
But usually the market doesn't work where it's like that logical. Oh, NVIDIA's Quantum Day, let's buy quantum stocks. They're going to go up because of quantum. It's usually not that easy in my opinion. I guess this time it was. But, I missed it this time other than Qubits.
Okay, my question though still stands. Do you think we've got some more room on these? Do you think that do you think that this is over yet, or are there going to be another kind of a big move here in some of these?
So I'm going to take it back a long time to fuel cell stocks. There was a time, it was a long time ago. I know I look young, but I'm a little older. Where I was trading the fuel cell stocks and like Ballard Power, Plug Power, they were exploding. Like the fuel cell was the next
F-Cell, Plug. I remember those days, Adam.
So I was in Fortune magazine because I made like $20,000 in 5 minutes in Plug. And like there was a writer standing behind me watching me do it. Anyhow, that was a long time ago. What I remember was they were in play for a while, and then they just became obsolete for a long time. The thing that I can't shake with quantum that stops me from being aggressive is that they say that it's a long time away. And so every time there's a sell-off, these things will go down. It's not like it's NVIDIA where it's now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Their day hasn't come yet. And do I think they'll be a lot higher in 10 years? Or let's say 5 years? No. I don't think they're going to be a lot higher in 5 years. I think they already went up in anticipation, but we're not going to see a lot for years. So I'm not going to be able to hold the down moves on these stocks. That's what it is.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. You're literally going exactly where I was hoping that you were going to go. That's kind of my issue on this too. I do think there is going to be another, let's call it another wave of quantum. I know this is D-wave quantum. Let's just call it another wave of quantum. But like you, how many years in the future is this going to be? I actually didn't even think about this, but your comparison to the fuel cell stocks is absolutely tremendous. I too traded some of those stocks back then, and all of a sudden they were just not popular anymore. It was a ghost town after the initial run. So it would be interesting to see if we get that here in quantum. Okay, good stuff, folks. Join Adam's free webinar and learn his 2025 strategy March 20th. That's one of the quantum days, by the way, March 20th from 1 to 2 p.m. QR code is on the screen. I'll go ahead and throw a link to the registration there in the chat. Here you go. Okay. So we talked about quantum stuff. We talked about some of those setups you think might be on hold here. Let me ask you then more broadly with the market, how are you looking at the broad market sell-off for new plays? Are you looking to maybe trade some of the momentum to the downside? Are you kind of waiting stuff out until there's a tradable bounce? Are you just looking for relative strength amidst a sea of weakness? How are you actually positioning and trading around the market volatility that we've seen recently?
The last thing you said, looking for relative strength in a sea of weakness is the easiest thing to do. It's the most low-hanging fruit. What's not going down, that's going to be the first thing to go up. That's always been my formula for these markets. So one stock I really like for the long term that I think has held up well in this, when NASDAQ went down 13%, whatever it was, is Uber. Uber
Yes, sir.
came back down. It's in the 70s. I like the way it's trading. It doesn't really want to go down. And I think it would take a bigger market move to take it further down. But I think this is looking like one of the better. That's like a healthy looking stock in this environment for me. And that's what I gravitate towards as like what I would call a safe play.
Okay, really good stuff here. Uber is a show favorite, by the way. The stock gets traded on a regular basis around these parts here. So I'm curious to know what kind of setup or what kind of look you're looking at here on Uber. One of the things that I've noticed here is, first of all, we just had a golden cross, right? We just had the 50-day move up through the 200-day. The price is actually still above both of those levels. To my eye here, it sure looks like the next date here is going to be with about 75, right above that 20-day moving average. And then maybe we can take out 80. And what are these highs in here? 82 and change. So let me ask you, I completely agree with you. This has definitely been stronger than a lot of the other stocks, especially the tech stocks. I think we just got news about them expanding or partnering. Here we go. This was yesterday. WeRide CEO said he aims to grow fleet over 5,000 robo-taxis within the next 3 years, said to partner with Uber on the launch of robo-taxis in Abu Dhabi. We get international news about this. Clearly, it's really killing it. And obviously, the DoorDash, the Uber Eats angle of this has done awesome. This, to me, looks like it's going to ramp. You got any setups on this one? Spots?
Yeah, we have this on. And we did a pretty simple trade. And in fairness, though, we put this on when the markets were at their highs, and the trade's still doing okay. So what we bought the December 19th, 75 calls. And then what we've been doing is we were selling calls against it, collecting premium. And right now we're short the April 85 calls. We had sold those for $1.44. They're down to 32 cents. So as long as Uber stays in the high 60s, 70s or up, this is going to be a good trade. And even if it goes lower, we're going to keep collecting premium and reduce our risk. So this is a safe trade. We eased in, and we said we're willing to buy more if it goes down enough. So we didn't even enter a full position. We entered a partial position because we're going out to December, and we did it in February. So it's kind of like owning the stock, but with the options cheaper. We have it for the year. We like to play for the year. And we'll buy more if it goes in the 60s. Probably this would be one where I would average down, which is something I rarely do just because we took a small position acknowledging the market was really strong. It's a very, very comfortable position to be in. Anytime you could collect premium against the position, keep reducing the risk, it's easy to stay in.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. If you guys are a big Uber community, the one concern that got brought up to me was Waymo, because it's already going. It's in Arizona. These robot driverless cars are really popular. How much competition? I'm just curious what everyone thinks about that.
Okay, so we do talk about that back and forth here, folks. That is your call to action here. Let Adam know what you think about the Waymo Uber competition. I'll say this. First of all, I travel to Arizona about once a year, at least every year. I've seen those Waymos all over the place. I absolutely refuse to get into a driverless car. Just straight up, there's no way I'm going to do it. And I'll tell you something else, Adam. Those Waymos pull up, they're Jaguars. They're not bad cars. Like, they are nice looking cars. Forget it. Forget it. I'm calling Uber every time. I've seen people get stuck on the way to the Sky Harbor Airport trying to get out of town in a Waymo. No, thank you. So at least I know it's just anecdotal. It's just one data point here. I have zero interest in Waymos. I'm not going to do it. Chat, let Adam know what you think there on that. Okay, real good stuff here. Sorry, did you have anything else? Go ahead.
No, just like a joke. One of your people wrote in poor fuel cell. Yeah, all those the fuel cell stocks got destroyed.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Okay. All right. Did want to. So here we go. Waymo handles 1,000 rides per week. Uber handles over 33 million rides per day. There's some good. And I think one of the things you're worried about there is there a gap to close in there, because that'd be something there. I'm not a fan of the Waymos. Forget it. I at heart, I'm a driver. I want to drive. Last thing I want is a robot doing all that stuff for me. Forget it. Okay, a couple other stocks that I wanted to ask you about. Again, join Adam's free webinar to learn his 2025 strategy. That's March 20th from 1 to 2 p.m. QR code is on the screen there. Adam, I think you might have heard us talking about Palantir on your way in here. Are you trading this at all? Does this give you any type of setup here? Are you looking at Palantir at all in your regular trading?
It's funny. We talked about this one last time as sometimes where a stock gets away from you. And this was a stock I had a lot of in the 20s, and we were trading it in the 30s and 40s. And one day it made a move where we didn't want to chase, and kind of lost it. And it's gone up so much in the last year that it's just hard for me to trade up here. I feel like there's a saying, it comes from horse racing, but it's I wasn't there for the wedding, I don't want to be there for the funeral. I don't think there's going to be a funeral for Palantir. It's a great company, but I have no idea. Like this is easily, if this stock wanted to go to 70, why wouldn't it? Yep. It's still up so much for the year. It could be back at 100. I don't have a range for it right now. I wish I had gotten in and stayed in it, but I didn't.
Okay, with you there. I too feel the same. I traded this on the way up using options. It was great. I sold, I think I ended up selling around 60, and the thing went to 100 plus. And I was like, can I get some of my options back, for heaven's sakes? This is crazy. But I agree.
Ryan, remember what we talked about last time with Palantir? That nobody knows, nobody knows what Palantir is. Like, have you ever seen a Palantir computer? Some people have, but they're like military. Like, I think for me, that's the hardest thing. Like Netflix, you could look at and be like, this is awesome. I use it every day. Sure. I'm not going to go against it. Amazon, Google, Uber. But Palantir, for me, it still almost seems like it's very B2B. And so it's hard for me to understand it. I don't understand the product. I know a lot of what they do, like military stuff, computers, but has anyone on here ever used anything with Palantir? I'm sure some people have, but I haven't. So it's hard for me to value that.
I'm with you there, and I actually consider myself old-fashioned in that regard. If I have experience with the product, I feel like I have more of a handle on the stock. Sometimes that helps me, sometimes it hurts me. But no, their Foundry platform, never even seen a screenshot of it. So with you on that. Again, another great call to action there. If any of you folks have used Palantir, let us know what your thoughts are there. I'm still waiting this out. I will try this at 60. If this comes back into 60, I will try alongside trade there. We'll see if we end up getting that, though. Okay, really good stuff. Can't let you out of here without asking you about Tesla. I know that this is Red Dog's baby, or it has been, but got to ask you about Tesla here. We got some more news about Tesla here as far as some of its competitors in China go. Tesla's down here 3.6% in the pre-market. I'll go ahead and get rid of my drawing here so it's a little bit easier to see. You got any thought here on Tesla or setup here on Tesla? How are you trading this one, if you are at all?
So I'm not trading Tesla. I watch it as almost as if I'm watching the Qs or any other index to see how the market's going. So I definitely have it up all the time. I've never owned a Tesla, which is separate. I'm a huge fan of Doge. I love everything he's doing, cleaning up waste, corruption. I'm so happy with everything Elon Musk is doing. And I'm not that worried that the left is boycotting him. And I'm not trying to get political here, because this is just I've been in this industry for a long time, and I know in terms of who's spending the most money, it's not the people that are it's not like the radicals that are boycotting Tesla that is going to hurt the company. So fundamentally, I'm not worried about all the arguments against it, but I never understood the valuation. Now they're saying maybe robots and stuff like that are going to be worth more. So the story is always changing, which is unbelievable. It's another one. If I could argue both sides of the trade, right? Like why it should be lower, why it should be higher. Sometimes I have no conviction. And if I don't have any conviction on anything, then I'm just not trading it. So like Uber, like you said, I would never bet against Uber. There's too many, they could win in so many different areas, food delivery, car service. Like, I don't ever think they reach their peak. In my head, all I see them as is a $120 stock. So I'm only trading that in one direction. And that's easy for me to have conviction with. Palantir, I don't. Tesla, I don't. Not against them, I just, no idea. So I'm very like, like for me to commit to like a December call, I got to be obsessed. Otherwise, I'm trading stuff shorter term, and it's probably cheaper stuff.
Yeah, I gotta say, first of all, I'm super glad that you said that, because I often find when I'm looking at Tesla, I often find myself in that same area where I have no conviction either way. And the more I do that, the more it feels like gambling, and the less of an edge I feel like I have. And eventually I just end up avoiding that. So with their 100%, interesting that you use it as a market barometer there. Okay, those were the stocks that I definitely wanted to look at here today. You got anything else that you want to cover before we send you off here for a great Tuesday?
Sure. Just going back to the quantum plays, I did want to say that in my like the webinar we're doing, we do own qubits. We got in at $1.90, and so we sold some of the position on the way up. But that's like a baseball card that you got like in the pack, so you don't really want to sell it because you got in at such a good value. So even though I think it's a long way away, what we're doing with that is we're collecting premium against it. We could always roll back the calls as long as we want, because we're literally that one. Our cost basis on the trade is less than zero. We're positive cost basis. We own it at nothing because of what we sold. So something that I will stay in it for years. I don't want to say I didn't have it. It's just to buy more over the next 7 years, I wouldn't do. So we have qubits, we have Uber, and then I'll mention one more that I really like, and we do a lot of different trades with it, is Bitto, which is an interesting thing. It covers Bitcoin, it pays a huge dividend every month, and you could collect premium against the stock. So whereas I'm an options trader, this is one that I like as a stock trade, assuming Bitcoin stays relevant, and there's a lot of reasons why it should for the next couple of years, and it's above 60 plus thousand. As long as it's above 60,000, Bitto will be relevant. And the fact that you could get that close to $1 dividend every month, plus collect premium against it, makes it a safe way to trade Bitcoin, and something we've been doing and having some fun with. And I'm a big fan of that trade for the next year.
Okay, real awesome, real good stuff here this morning, Adam. Appreciate it. Join Adam's free webinar. Learn his 2025 strategy. That's going to be March 20th, 1 to 2 p.m. QR code is on the screen. Link is in the chat. Adam, thanks for joining us here again. Good stuff. Can't wait to catch up with you next time.